My Friend's Little Sister Has It In For Me is a rom-com that mainly centers around Aketeru Oboshi. I'll apologize now, I always butcher the names. And his friend's little sister, Iroha Kohinata. And based on the title and the way that she behaves, it seems like it could be a relatively fun rom-com, but unfortunately, it just kind of devolves into every generic rom-com trope that you've seen before. It's based on a light novel. I've only read the manga, which is obviously going to be way behind the novels, but there isn't anything particularly compelling about it. The kind of bait of the title and initial story, I would say pretty quickly falls by the wayside. It kind of starts like, oh, you have this boy Aketeru, he's very ambitious, him and his friends have developed a pretty successful game, including his best friend, and his sister's going to relentlessly tease him and flirt with him and that whole deal. But then you find out pretty quickly that his friend Ozuma Kohinata just wants his friend to plow his sister anyway. And then very shortly after that, it devolves into a harem, and the entire harem consists of all things that you've seen before. And the show isn't offensively bad. It's not super crazy with fan service or anything like that. The characters are all okay, but they're all also just kind of there. And I was a bit disappointed because I was like, oh, if his friend's sister is flirting with him and his friend is protective, you get kind of your typical family interference, but you can do it in a fun way. It's still pretty lighthearted for a rom-com. But then pretty much right away, he walks in on a girl in the toilet who so happens to be the CEO and his uncle at a big business that can help him get into the industry for their games. And of course, his uncle wants him to be in a fake relationship with his daughter that he just walked in on in the toilet, Mashiro. So now he's got a fake girlfriend. He's got his friend's little sister, who's your very typical tsundere, how you fucking say it. And then of course, the very stern, young, hot, big-titted teacher he ran into at one of those doujinshi conventions, and she's a Shotokan, so he blackmails her into being productive with her manga, essentially. And to top it all off, they all live on the 5th floor of the same apartment building, so they're all living in one hallway for all practical purposes. And this isn't the fault of this show, but it really does remind me of the fucking gooners for Classroom of the Elite who just love the teacher and do all the weird drawings and shit of her and Ayana Kuji. So it really is just every single self-insert fantasy, very generically rolled into one kind of meh rom-com. And Iroha is kind of funny, the teasing little sister, but even her, she kind of reminds me of Yuki from Aya Sometimes Hides Her Feelings in Russian. And the fact that I keep referencing other shows kind of gets to the core of what I'm trying to say, is that every character in this show is just kind of a derivative reminder of the trope that you've seen before, but liked more in other shows. Even the sound engineer is some weird but very attractive chick who likes candy. I'm assuming she'll be attracted to the main character at some point. And she's the only one who knows that Iroha is actually the voice actor for their game because she's supposed to be anonymous. And then as you go on, the coincidences pile up because the writer for the games is also anonymous, but it turns out to be Mashiro. So it's like every single character is tied together and then lives one room apart. And like, yeah, I know the plot's not that serious because it's a rom-com, but it is just lazy in every facet in that regard. And our main character's role, I also kind of just don't know if I buy. I get what they're going for. Essentially, every person in this group that created the game is dysfunctional, and he's sort of the glue producer that holds them all together. It's just one of those things where it's like, do you buy a 16, 17-year-old being a producer, even if he's had a successful game like that, and that all these talented people around him wouldn't just get bought off to some big-ass corporation? I don't know. Like, Ozuma was socially dysfunctional, very lazy. Our main character, Oboshi, is the one that gets him motivated. Iroha's mom didn't want her in entertainment, so he got her into entertainment anonymously, and they're hoping to win her over with success. Mashiro was the socially bullied, awkward childhood friend that he helped out, and she's wanting to make her pen name known as her real name, so he's bringing her to the surface. His teacher, Sumeyer, but she's very lazy, a procrastinator, and he gets her to meet her deadlines. So he's the one bringing them all together for their successful game. And then as the story goes on, of course, his teacher, Sumeyer, is from some small-ass village, so he has to fake a wedding with her to appease her parents. You get a love triangle because Mashiro eventually does fall for him, and Iroha does eventually acknowledge her feelings for him. I'm not going to ramble on about this one too long because I honestly don't even hate it. I think this this is the perfect type of show that you just maybe stick on in the background when you're kind of unwinding on your phone, you're eating dinner, you don't really pay too much attention to. As far as the anime goes and the progress of his relationship with Iroha, I suspect it won't be this season anyway. Since I'm a manga reader only, I don't know how long it gets dragged out, but it's pretty obvious what the end game is. So if you're looking for a rom-com this season, which is fall of 2025, I'd recommend Elsewhere. If you're looking for rom-coms in general, there's a million other ones that handle this better. I'm gonna leave it there for this one. If you've seen the show, let me know what you think. Try to respond to the comments that aren't just insults. Like and subscribe and all that shit. Thanks. See ya.